Hello YouTube, welcome to my second session here of Nations Rising, where I'm going to be playing as Tabarestan. I quickly just want to showcase the difficulties on hard, and Iron Man mode is activated. Let's go ahead and get this started. I just want to take the time to say that my last session as Byzantium was, well, it was more successful than I expected it to be, and thanks to all of those of you who were commenting and thumbed up the video. And I've had feedback of some people saying that it did help them and they enjoyed the strategy, so I'm really glad that that is the case. Okay, first things first, we're going to take this mission of improve our prestige because the others are unrealistic. We're going to focus our admin. I'm going to build up to my force limit and move my forces to Gillian. I'm going to go ahead and use our diplomats to claim on QQ and this other nation as well. I just want to quickly address that I use nicknames and abbreviations, or sometimes I avoid talking about certain nations entirely, and that's simply just because I'm ignorant of how to pronounce the nations, and I would rather, hopefully it is less offensive to just call them something like QQ rather than mispronounce them every time. We're going to go ahead and throw our spare merchant that we had in the beginning of the game straight into Persia, simply for the little boost. Unfortunately, we don't have the trading range to feed from Samarkand or something like that. Okay, so that's it. I'm sitting here with the speed up full. The reason I max out our force limit is to actually deter QQ from attacking me. If you reduce your army maintenance or do something like that in order to gain more money, then it is more likely that QQ will attack you. The two major threats are obviously QQ and the Timurids, who are hordes and they start with CB on you. But QQ is less powerful, and from my experience, if you build up your forces and you don't lower your maintenance, he's hesitant to attack you because of the mountains that you're on. Whereas the Timurids, as you can see, and pretty consistently, they get pulled into one war or another. You can see right now he's fighting two wars. One is I believe it's Kazan's offensive war against Nogai. No, it's his offensive war against Nogai. And then he's defending Kazan from Muscovy. So he's going to be preoccupied for a little while, which is good. The main thing that we are waiting for is QQ to actually attack a other nation. As soon as they do that, then we're actually going to have the option to attack them, ourselves. I guess technically we could attack them at any time, but we want that sweet distraction. They're obviously going to destroy any of the nations that they attack, but we definitely desire them to be distracted. Okay, there we go. So he just declared on Georgia. We're going to go ahead and build way over our force limit. I'm going 6 over. Fortunately, Tabarestan is not as poor as many other nations who are 2 province miners, and that's because the Persian trading region is quite comparable to a lot of the wealthy trading regions in the beginning of the game, and we also have a decent portion of their trade income due to that inland center of trade. Okay, so here's where we're hoping to get a bit lucky. Like I was hoping we did have some discipline or morale, but looks like that's not going to be a thing. We're also hoping that when we roll our general that we get some shock or maneuver as well would be nice. Okay, alright, that's not too bad there. I'm liking that. Okay, so I'm gonna wait till we have 10k. And then, no I'm not, actually, screw it, let's go, YOLO. So, needless to say, he outnumbers us significantly. But basically this tactic is going to be utilizing the war goal and his capital. I'm going to try split my forces between these and use them as a bottleneck so that he cannot get to my land, and then he has to engage us where our troops are already positioned, where I can reinforce them on mountains. That's basically the strategy in a nutshell. Fortunately, this is the war goal for us, meaning that we're going to get ticking war score, and the other province next to it is his capital, which will give us a lot of war score, and destroy his enthusiasm significantly, and raise his war exhaustion. So this is pretty ideal. Now if I can get reinforcements here, now that this province is being sieged, then he will have to either avoid us entirely, or at the very least we will have mountains, which gives us a huge defensive bonus. Okay, so here he comes. Now his generals are not so good. As we can see, he's got 0 shock. Unfortunately, there's not a river crossing. Okay, I am going to go ahead and take a lot of loans here in order to hire this discipline, because this could make the difference between winning or losing and having a successful or an unsuccessful game. Boom. So as you can see, fairly successful. Fairly successful. I think I was a little bit hasty here, like I didn't even have reinforcements coming. But I think that kind of indicates that this strategy can be a success. We could have had better luck with our advisors, we could have had worse luck with our general, but all in all, not too bad. So he's obviously hurting a little bit, he's licking his wounds. If he does want to engage on us again in the future, we're only going to be in a stronger position. We are going to go massively in debt here, but next we're going to set our sights towards these two nations, and when we fully annex them, that will allow us to take all of their money and hopefully pay off some more of their loans. Also, these two nations own the only other two centers of trade, and therefore if we can obtain his capital, which is also required to form Persia, and once we take out this nation, our influence over Persia is going to be huge, and our economy should be pretty decent. With that being said, the minimum amount that we wish to take from QQ is this province here, because that allows us to actually expand. But hopefully, we already have 17 war score. It was pretty devastating for him to lose that battle. Hopefully once we take his capital and the war goal, well, we continue to receive ticking war score. Oh, is he coming in for round 2? No, he's too scared to engage this time. Okay. So he might engage on this province this time. No. What's your move gonna be, QQ? You're making me nervous. Excellent. Whew, looks like Georgia is distracting him enough at the moment, which is good. I think Uzbek is... I've been improving relations with Crimea. I think Uzbek is another nation which is considerable to sort of ally. The Golden Horde would be, but they're simply going to become a huge threat. Oh no! Oh no, he's attacking me. Shoot. Oh gosh, okay, we're going to have to take even more loans again. Oh, this is brutal on our economy. It's gotta be done, man. It's gotta be done. This is one of those do or die situations where we need victory. Excellent. He's going to be really suffering once he loses this battle. I believe that was his entire force. So I can leave this province unattended just for now. Wow, 34 war score, that's actually a huge amount. If we could go ahead and take his capital, that would really wreck him. Anyways, obviously there are a lot of factors to consider. Like, I think the discipline is making a huge influence, guys. I really do. It makes a huge difference. Alternatively, I suppose you could go even further over your force limit. That's a way you could spend even more money on, like we are, on being stronger if you didn't have discipline. Having shock is huge as well. Like, it's a pain sometimes to dump heaps of military power into trying to get generals, but it's definitely worth it. Or alternatively, you could use your ruler. You could see if your ruler is decent, but you need to do what it takes to win these starting battles, and then just kind of praying after that that you can recover from this debt. But I hope you guys can see that this is pretty realistic. He hasn't been as distracted as I would have liked, and from previous testing and experiences, he has been more distracted in the past. Oh, subsidies from the Ottomans. Thank you, sir. Let's improve relations with him. We really needed that, thank you. But yeah, he is basically just running into us, and I hope this is making it clear that you can beat him. It's not really it's not that much of an RNG thing. Again, as always, you might find yourself having some trouble, but I hope the goal of this series is to create a strategy which is somewhat consistent and that you guys can do yourself. So considering this is looking pretty successful, I'm going to be talking about our next step, which is attacking this nation here. I just want to be clear that when you attack this nation, you must do it while you're at war with QQ. Because as soon as you peace out QQ, he's going to give you a warning. Sorry, I was just drinking some coffee. Awesome. Looks like most of his forces over here sieging this, and we certainly have better progression here in his capital. So we're just going to sit on that. This war exhaustion is killing me, man. I mean the manpower, the attrition. I don't really know what to do, honestly. If we do that, we should be making better money, and we're going to reinforce with mercenaries if we can, because this is pretty vulnerable. We're much more vulnerable than I would like. I haven't really been in this situation in the past, and the reason is because he hasn't so aggressively just engaged on us in the past. He usually has been distracted enough to where I can siege the capital. Our general doesn't have any siege on him, so that's something to consider. Okay, back to getting our progress. Come on, baby. I think when we take his capital, his enthusiasm should drop. And with the sheer amount of war score that we have, we should be able to take a good chunk of land. Do consider, guys, once again, you could get away with taking this one province. QQ is not that big of a deal. They are a horde, and you can finish them off later. You can get away with just taking this one, because that's going to give you access. However, consider that you need this capital city to actually form Persia. Awesome. Okay, so as far as additional provinces, I'm going to make sure that they're Shiite religion, so that we can integrate them well. And I'm actually going to be a little bit... Well, let us check, can we get war reparations? I'm actually going to... Rather than take a province here, I'm going to value our economy. Because we're very much in debt. Like I said, QQ is not that big of an issue. Oh, this is a really hard choice. Actually, it's a really hard choice. Never mind. Let's get as big and as strong as powerful. So we're not getting war reparations, but we are able to take some money to where we can pay off some loans. Okay, let's do it. Oh, and... oh no, I'm not even following my own advice. Okay, I've got 4 days. Please do not warn me. Okay, good. So yeah, again, you want to... I've been punished like that in the past. Gosh, I can't even follow my own advice. You must declare ASAP, guys, on this nation. Even though we're probably in a situation where we would prefer to be at peace for a little while, we've got to strike at this nation before he actually issues that warning. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and dump all of this. Okay. So we're easily stronger than this small little guy, and taking him out is going to allow us to pay off some loans. And our influence over Persia should have grown dramatically, and it's only going to grow more so. So I think this is going to be a similar... Nice, we just stack wiped him. Similar situation to the last session, which was Byzantium, in the fact that most people are just going to watch the first episode to sort of see how it is executed. And, you know, that's completely understandable, and I think that's probably a reoccurring thing on YouTube in general. So those of you watching, I hope that you enjoyed this strategy. It's basically holding up into the mountains. I found nothing more effective than that. We do have a little bit of unrest, but I boosted autonomy, and when our overextension and war exhaustion reduces, we should survive no problem, because they're all the same religion. Once we have cored this up, we're going to have this culture is going to be accepted, so that helps a little bit in that regard as well. And from here, we're trying to actually gather ourselves some rivals. We're going to be strong enough to rival QQ, for instance, which should give relations with the Ottomans, for example, and we're basically looking to acquire ourselves some allies just to deter the Timurids from attacking us, for instance. And then from there, we're obviously just trying to expand however we can. One way you could expand is into vassalizing Georgia or Syria if they're not already kind of getting wrecked like they are this game. Another way is into the Golden Horde if they often do get collapsed upon. Sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't, depending on how Muscovy behaves. And yeah, we're really just waiting for our opportunity. I think those of you really, if you know anything about this region, you know that the Timurids eventually, they're going to begin to struggle. One way or another, they are a horde, and we should be able to pull ahead in technology, at least, as time goes on. However, the Timurids are usually, whether it's defending their allies or not, they usually get pulled into 1 or 2 wars, and whilst they're at war, they have a Persian uprising, and then they're looking pretty vulnerable, and that's usually a good time. If you play your cards right, you can attack them whilst their armies are really preoccupied. I'm going to go ahead and lose piety, because we don't need the missionary strength, and that allows us to advance our technology at a faster rate. Damn it. Looks like the Crimea is getting wrecked, unfortunately. I was hoping he would do well, because he could be a significant ally in the future. Trying to keep an eye out for any of these nations flipping friendly. I guess Kazan is someone to... I don't think Kazan is very valuable at all. Especially because Muscovy owns him. Seems like Uzbek is probably the best horde that we could acquire as an ally. They seem to have the strongest rivalry against the Timurids, even though they're not rivaled. They really desire Samarkand more than the other hordes. Okay, so hopefully we can just full annex him. Nope. To this last engagement, and then it's going to be all about loan repaying. We're still getting those subsidies from the Ottomans, it looks like. But they should probably stop soon. Excellent, that's a lot of money. And we might be out of debt now. Yes, excellent. Unfortunately, our autonomy is really high all over, but with having this much overextension and being such a small nation, there's not really another way to approach this, in my mind. Excellent. QQ is a rival. Ooh, we could pick Georgia. That's weird. How did Trabzon enter the same war? They like allied each other whilst at war. Maybe? Well, I don't think Georgia can defend itself, no. But I'm gonna go ahead and rival him. He's probably gonna get vassalized, but maybe not. And I'm gonna make another claim on this nation. He wants to be our ally, but that's just free clay. He's so vulnerable. Excuse me? How is... Okay, even better, he will give us power projection when we destroy him. How is QQ not a valid rival when they were just valid? That makes no sense. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the first episode here. As far as this, I'm just trying to wait for our war exhaustion to reduce a little bit before I begin coring these provinces up. But, come to think of it, that's pretty... Our unrest is quite bad. So we're going to go ahead and do that in a less optimal fashion. But that was basically the strategy being executed, guys. That's the most effective way I found of playing Tabarestan myself. Again, any game, it's always going to come down to just doing the best that you can based on the circumstances. The strategy is only, so effective. But I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. And next move we're going to be attacking into this nation, and then we're simply looking for opportunities to expand further until the time where we actually undermine the Timurids. And I think once we wreck the Timurids and expand into them, that is probably going to be a good place to call this a success. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope if you try this yourself that you have success with your endeavors. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.